Hello everyone, myself Sneha Shah from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. In the last session, I had explained you about three different properties of discrete time Fourier transform from the subject of digital signal processing. In the last session, I had explained you about linearity, time shifting and frequency shifting property. Now today I will explain you about time reversal property. Now what is time reversal property? So starting with its statement that if we are finding dTft of x of n, then it will representing as x of omega, then time reversal it means it is considered as time folding. Folding means it will representing as x of minus n, right? So if you want to find out dTft of this, then it will representing as x of minus omega. Now to prove this, we will starting this with the equation of dTft. What is the dTft equation? The equation of dTft is dTft of x of n equals to x of omega, and its value equals to summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n e raised to minus j omega n. Now we want to find out dTft of x of minus n. So dTft of x of minus n will be representing as n equals to minus infinite to infinite. Instead of x of n, we will put x of minus n. So instead of this x of n, we will put x of minus n. All the other term will remain as it is. So we will write e raised to minus j omega n over here. So the next step is, next we will applying the rule as in bracket any term will be there. For that we will taking another variable, like let we are taking instead of minus n, we will take n. So what will be the range of n? When we will take n equals to minus infinite, the value of m equals to minus minus plus infinite. Over here if we will put minus infinite, minus minus plus infinite. And when we will take n equals to infinite, the value of m equals to minus infinite. So if we will putting this all this value in this equation, so the summation is of m equals to infinite to minus infinite x of m e raised to j omega n, because over here minus n will representing as n. Now if we will taking summation from infinite to minus infinite or minus infinite to infinite, both will be same. So this term will representing as summation m equals to minus infinite to infinite x of m, and this term will rearranging like this, e raised to minus j omega something. So e raised to minus j omega m. If you want to write down like this, then we will representing it as minus minus plus. So instead of omega, we will take it as minus minus plus. It means minus omega into n. Minus minus plus. Now if we are writing omega, then this term will representing x of omega. Now over here we are writing minus omega. So this whole term will representing as dTft of this term in terms of minus omega. So it will representing x of minus omega. So this way we can prove this time reversal property. Now the next property is differentiation property. Now what is differentiation? If we will doing differentiation in the time domain, then what should be the representation in frequency domain? So for this we will start from statement of it. Now what is statement? If we will taking x of n and we are finding dTft of this, then it will representing as x of omega. Then we will take, we want to do differentiation in frequency domain. So over here if we will taking j d by d omega x of omega, then over here the input sequence x of n will multiply with the term n. So to prove this property, we will start the proof from the equation of dTft. dTft of x of n will representing as x of omega is equals to summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n e raised to minus j omega n. Now x of omega, we want to find out differentiation of this term, right? So we will take differentiation over here and differentiation over here. So the term will like this, d by d omega x of omega is equals to, we will also take this part with differentiation d by d omega summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n e raised to minus j omega n. Now over here the rule is applied that when two summation are there, summation integration will be there, summation differentiation, integration differentiation, integration summation will be there, then we will rearrange these two terms. Means differentiation is the first part, so we will take differentiation afterwards and we will put summation part as first. So summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite we will take over here and d by d omega will write afterwards. Now d by d omega means all the terms with omega will comes over here and all the terms without omega will comes over here with n term. So starting with this term d by d omega we had already written, summation is already written, x of n. In this there is not omega, so it will outside of this term, means we will write it over here. In this term it is it is used as omega, so over here we will write e raised to minus j omega n. Now we have to do differentiation of this part. So what is the differentiation of e raised to minus j omega n? Its differentiation is e raised to minus j omega n into minus j n. So using that part we will write the next step as d by d omega x of omega is equals to summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n as it is, and the term will becomes e raised to minus j omega n, and this minus j into n will becomes over here. Now you can simplify this term by rearranging this, all the term minus j will come over here, summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite n into x of n. This term will remain as it is, e raised to minus j omega n. Now we will multiplying this term with j on both sides. So next step is multiply by j on both the sides. So this term will become j into d by d omega x of omega is equals to, this term will convert as minus j into j because we will multiplying by j factor. Summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite, this term will becomes n into x of n into e raised to minus j omega n. Now you can see that j into j means j square, and the value of j square equals to minus 1. Minus minus plus, it means it is considered as positive 1. 1 into this term means it will gives you this part only. So this will representing as e raised to minus j omega n into x of n. As you can see that when this term will occurring that x of n into e raised to minus j omega n, then this term will representing as dTft of x of n. Now over here the term is this. So we will write down that this term is representation of dTft of n into x of n. So from this we can say that when we will taking dTft of n into x of n, then it will gives you the answer as j into d by d omega x of omega. So this way we can prove this property, n into x of n dTft of it equals to j d by d omega x of omega. Now the next property is Parseval's theorem. Now what is Parseval's theorem and what is the proof of this? So first of all we will starting from statement of it. So to write down statement for this Parseval's theorem, we will starting with two sequences. If x1 of n, we will take dt ft of it, then it will gives you x1 of omega, and x2 of n, if we will finding dt ft of it, then it will gives you x2 of omega. Then summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x1 of n and conjugate term of x2 of n will gives you the answer as 1 upon 2 pi integration minus pi to pi x1 of omega x2 star of omega d omega. So this is the property of Parseval's theorem. Now if you want to prove this property, then in the proof we can write that we will starting from the equation of inverse dt ft. Now we will taking inverse dt of ft of x2 of n. So from the value of x2 omega we will finding x2 of n. Now what should be the equation of inverse dt ft? As you know that the omega will range in between either 0 to 2 pi or in between minus pi to pi. So we will taking minus pi to pi, then this term will multiply with e raised to j omega n, and x2 is the function of omega, so over here we will write d omega, and as it is considered in terms of angular frequency, so over here it will divided by a factor of 1 upon 2 pi. So we had taken inverse dt ft equation of this value. Now in this, if we will taking conjugate term of this, because over here we have to use x2 star of n, right? So over here we will take conjugate term. So this term will convert in this form minus pi to pi, x2 of omega will convert into conjugate of it e raised to j omega, its conjugate is e raised to minus j omega and d omega. Now this value will be put in this equation. So the next equation is summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x1 of n x2 star of n. Now in this we will put the value of x2 star of n, so the term will becomes like this: summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x1 of n, and conjugate term of x2 of n is representing as 1 upon 2 pi integration minus pi to pi x2 star of omega e raised to minus j omega and d omega. Now as you know, the rule of this is summation and integration will be there, so we will rearranging the order of this. 1 upon 2 pi is constant, so it will outside of all these terms. Then we will writing first we will writing some integration, and then we will writing summation. Summation is of n, so all the terms with n will comes over here, otherwise it will comes over here. In this the term of n, so it will written over here. Next term is x2 star of omega, it will goes over here. In this the term of n, so it will comes over here, e raised to minus j omega n, and d omega is constant, so it will be outside of this summation part. Now you can see that this term is representation of dt ft of x1 of n. So we will write down it as a x1 of omega. This will be rearranging as x2 star of omega, d omega will be as it is, and this one is 1 upon 2 pi integration minus pi to pi. So we can say that this will consider as the proof of Parseval's theorem. So when we will multiplying two sequences in the time domain, first sequence is as it is and the second sequence with conjugate term, then in the frequency domain also it will be same, but the difference is in the time domain we have taken discrete time sequence, so it will be in the form of summation, and in the frequency domain we have taken integration, because in the frequency domain it is a continuous time sequence, so we have to take integration. So this way we can prove this Parseval's theorem. In the next session I will explain you more properties about this DTFT.